Good afternoon, I'm Colette Linden.
And I'm Danny Dupuis. Welcome to the special report.
I have paper fluttered everywhere here. We've got a lot to do in the next half an hour. The Premier is coming on today, but he's coming on at 1:30, so we have a bit of time with you guys today. He's going to be talking or unveiling the reopening framework for what's going to happen for the economy. And actually, I'm going to throw to Chris a little bit right now so we can have a little bit of a chit-chat on that. Chris, what do you think he's going to say today?
Well, I talked to Russ Romano on Friday about that. It's going to be a very slow and measured opening to the economy. Basically, the first things that will open will be things that help support essential services, because there are some parts of the economy that we can reopen safely in those areas. And then also looking at getting back to doing some of the surgeries and so on and treatments that we've canceled because of COVID-19 in the hospital system. We could see that also being part of the sort of phase one of getting the economy back open again.
Oh, that's great, Chris. Well, yeah, so like I said, we're going to see that at 1:30 today. He's got a few of his ministers by his side for this announcement, so it should be a good one.
Yeah.
Also today, we're remembering those who died or injured or ill on the workplace. A couple stats that I saw today. In 2018 in Canada, 27 workers under the age of 25 perished on a job site.
Oh, wow.
So today we not only just honor them, but we also look to improve our health and safety around the job site. So keep them in your memory today.
Thank you so much for the work that you do too, and to those who have.
Yeah, I've had to suffer that for sure. What do you got over there, Miss Danny?
Oh, just like you, I'm scattered all over the place here. In other community local news we have going on, we do have a video from the YMCA showing their showing their thank yous to frontline workers, and as well as just to kind of show off some of their skills and stuff like that.
Before we do that, why don't we throw over to Chris for an update?
Yes, thank you. We now have a 13 case came out on the weekend. We know it's a male in his 40s and close contact, and he's self-isolating. So plenty of information there. I'm really seriously just expecting one of these to say like some random dude in the near future. Here in Sault Ste. Marie, we have now tested over 1,800 people. We are waiting for about 435 for that to come back. But tonight on my show, I'm going to be talking about a lot of misconceptions that are out there and trying to clear the air about what's true and what's not true. There's been a whackload of things over the last week, particularly coming from the White House, that has caused serious problems in parts of the U.S. And so I want to clear up what is a positive, good type of treatment for COVID-19 versus something that is just absolutely crazy nuts. One thing I just want to talk about right now is something called herd immunity, because we've been discussing in Canada over the weekend as a possible way to open the economy. Herd immunity is when a bunch of people get exposed to something and then they build up the antibodies, and then they can go back to work or school or whatever it is they do in public. And the theory on that is basically it's similar to a vaccine, but it's not. You're not actually vaccinating against something. We don't know if you've been exposed to COVID-19 and you've developed the antibodies to fight against it, how long that immunity actually lasts. And certain countries, such as Chile, are creating what they're calling an immunity passport. So if you test positive that you have the antibodies in your system, you can then go back out and go to work or school. That sounds like a great idea and sounds great on paper. We just don't know in the actual long term how long that immunity actually lasts. And then what happens if we do reopen, but immunity only lasts 6 months, and then 6 months from now, we're back right where we started, and we're back like in, beginning of March, middle of March, and then we got to start shutting things down again. So that's just not right now, at least according to Theresa Tam, our Chief Medical Officer, not a viable way to restart the economy here in Canada by getting people back to work. We either need a vaccine or a sharp drop in cases so we're not passing it around. And I will have more on that and other things such as Lysol, bleach, and other wonderful cures supposedly for COVID-19. They do kill COVID-19, but they also kill you at the same time.
Yeah, well.
So it's a double-edged sword there. So I go on for 15 minutes tonight on what we know is true and medically sound versus crazy nut crap coming from the White House. Back to the desk.
How do you say it any better than that?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh man, I've got this thing going on with my ear again today. Like I can feel this FBI thing. Anyway, sorry about that. Earlier we we almost forgot about Chris in that corner. And he gave us like one of these, like, hello.
Sorry, baby in the corner.
So, why don't we pick up where we left off? You start talking about the YMCA again and what they've done.
Yes, the YMCA over the weekend put together this incredible video to thank all the frontline and essential workers. A lot of the athletes too, they have loved ones who are also working, so they just wanted to show their appreciation and say thank you. And we'll have a look at this kind of 30-second video for you.
Nice. Can't wait to see it.
Thank you to all our frontline workers. We appreciate you. Stay safe. Thank you all to the frontline workers, my mom and my friend Trish and Kathy. Stay safe. I miss you so much. Love you all. Thank you, doctors and nurses, for helping us stay safe. I want to thank all the grocery store workers, especially my dad, for keeping us fed throughout this scary time. I would like to thank all of the nurses, doctors, and the paramedics for working during this hard time. And I would like to thank my mother, Alyssa Knox, for being a nurse.
Thank you to all the truck drivers like my grandpa who deliver food to our communities.
I just wanted to say thank you to all frontline workers, especially Matthew Fogel, who is still working at the steel plant. Thank you.
Well, we hope that pulled on your heartstrings,
It
just
sure
as it did on
Well,
ours.
everything pulls on my heartstrings, but how cute are they? That's so sweet. I love the one that said thank you on the
Oh,
floor. at
I
the
know.
bottom.
I didn't see that at first, and then I was like, oh my gosh. So we do, if you would like to see the full-length video,
Yeah.
go on to SueOnline.com, and you can see it right there. It says, thank you, YMCA. And
nice.
in other words, in our community news, we did have a local Sueite, Iona Warren, who took the initiative to start cleaning up some garbage around the community because it was getting pretty heavy. And there
some
she is
pictures
right
there.
there, and you can see even in the background there's some garbage around her. So she went out there on Sunday afternoon and just started collecting and picking up garbage. She had 4 garbage bags
Oh,
by
good for
the
her.
end of it, 2 bins. As you can see,
There's your plastic bag that
Yep.
you weren't happy with.
That actually flew off mid-conversation with her, and I was like, oh, this is great. On top of that, there are also some tires in the trails out.
Okay.
It's just fair. Oh, I also found there was a keyboard too in the mix of all that. Like some people are just throwing
Play
stuff
some
everywhere.
entertainment on a Sunday afternoon in the bush.
We even found like a little hut area. I don't know. It was really interesting.
Maybe it was
afternoon.
someone's clubhouse. Who knows? Just to talk about the fire services and police services quickly. Police services are reminding you that the EMCPA, which is the Emergency Management and Civil Protections Act, is still in
place.
That's the word I was looking for, in play, and it will be for at least May the 6th, if not longer. So if you're not following the rules, if you're staying together, if you're having crowds in front of your house, I know there's some birthday messages that we'll touch upon when we come back, but we are going to throw to a commercial break right now. And when we come back, we've got a lot more information for you.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Angelo, it's me, Vito. Imbecile, your brother. Listen, you bring 10 gallons of flat eggshell white paint.
This past year, we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
Welcome back. Thanks to Casey Security for sponsoring our show. So yeah, what we were talking about before we went to commercial break was the police services are definitely going around. They're ticketing. You can get up to $750 tickets for if you're loitering around an area or in a park. And as you know, the extension to that was till May 31st now, as well as school boards. So we wanted to make sure that the community knew that. Don't act up. Follow the rules.
Follow rules. Stay home. Don't go to the parks, even provincial parks and our Lake Superior. The weather's getting nicer outside. Everyone wants to go adventure.
They were saying it was a $500,000 fine and a possible imprisonment if you break any of these laws for your business too. So make sure you check out what you're supposed to be doing right now, so you don't get the nasty fine. Also, the fire services, they had 2 calls on the weekend. As you know, the outdoor fire ban's still on, but that's okay. It wasn't that. There was one who it was a kitchen fire, and the other one was due to, well, we don't know if it's cigarette smoking or not, but something caused by smoke.
It's something.
It's a handheld device, smoking device. So make sure you're careful, guys, especially with your kids at home while you're at work or in the quarantine
And make
time.
sure too, with fire services, they do have a social media contest going on right now, and it's called their hashtag #SueFireSafe. So just upload a picture to either YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram explaining how you're staying safe and no fires, and also using that hashtag. And what they're going to be doing is going through and picking up the winner, and you have a chance to win a propane fireplace and
the alternative to your outdoor fires. Thanks to Aaron Gobel for sending that. Awesome. Actually, we have that video on our website too. If you guys want to go to SueOnline.com.
We got everything on the website.
We've got everything. Some quarantine drive-by birthday parties. So we received an email from Amy Bellrive. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, Amy.
Sorry.
And she's planning one today, and they're a great idea. We did one on the weekend for my niece and nephew, Maddie and Miranda, and Michael and Braden. We had them all, and Connor. So happy birthday to everybody who's falling into the quarantine birthday. And if you're doing your convoy of cars and you're honking, just make sure you keep on going after you honk.
Why were some people not? They were just staying.
They are lingering and they're drinking, and they're going to get a
no-no.
nasty $750 fine if they keep it up. So keep your birthday wishes to a honk and a scream. Also, so May 31st, our kids are home definitely until May 31st.
Sorry.
All I have to say about this is my oldest, the high school is great. He's the public school system. The Catholic system at the elementary school, I'm going to say this because I can, is not that easy, especially for someone who's 9 years old. And his mother, who isn't so good at math problems, but we won't go into that story until later.
Oh, but that's such a good story.
Not so much. So it's now until May 31st. However, Chris, Danny, and I also feel that that's just going to be the end of the year. So
surprised they haven't just called it by now. To be honest,
no. I think they're trying not to. I think they're trying not to make everybody panic and go nuts, right? So we're going to hit the round table because we need Chris's advice on a few things. We've had some protesters, those yahoos, as Ford said. What do you think about our protesters at? We had some here in Sioux and some at the Queen's Park. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, we had 3 at the big protest here in town of people protesting about being supposedly locked in their house as captives, and they're no longer free, and we somehow live in a police state. Yeah, okay, whatever. As Doug Ford said, a bunch of yahoos.
Hilarious.
And you see these protests in the States. They started there. They've now come here. I mean, 100 people showed up at Queen's Park, which Doug Ford called a bunch of yahoos. There were some in Windsor. We had a couple here locally, which was actually just a family. So they could have just called it a walk.
Every Sunday they'll be
not
there.
A protest.
And they stopped at City Hall on a Sunday when typically there's no one inside City Hall on a Sunday.
Yeah.
There's no one in City Hall during the week right now. Like, they're all working
There's
from
that
home.
point too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so that was an interesting little topic. I mean, Doug Ford he did not hold back. He was very charismatic, very open about the fact that he thought it was ludicrous.
He's getting his point across.
Well, he is. He's saying everybody else is doing their work and their part, and then we have these yahoos who are on their front lawn, not respecting social boundaries and just not doing very much to help flatten the curve. So our next topic of conversation, considering that one's done, is Lysol and Trump. So we actually had to tell everybody on Friday, don't, look at this, I can't even, don't drink Lysol just because Trump got up on his little soapbox and told you that perhaps that might be good for you to do. No, in fact, what happened? Chris sent us a text message over the weekend. Chris, I'll let you reveal that information.
Yes, on Friday and Saturday alone in New York City, where there's the biggest outbreak in the U.S. and their hospitals are just overwhelmed, they had over 30 people admitted to hospital from, guess what? Any guesses? Any guesses? Lysol poisoning. Yes, and that's actually quite high compared to their normal Lysol poisoning admittance to the hospitals in New York. Clorox also had to come out on Friday and tell people not to drink their bleach. Now, that wasn't connected to Trump directly. It was connected to a church in Florida that went on and did a service on drinking bleach would help you not get COVID-19. So that's another very interesting thing. So my entire show tonight is dispelling all these myths that have particularly come to the forefront in the last 5-6 days. But yeah.
And most of these myths come from what country, Chris?
Ooh, that's a tough one. America. America, as they call it in
Making
the
America
UK.
great again, are we?
I mean,
you have a
yeah.
statement that you wanted to read.
Yeah,
to
making America great again.
We even had a statement from someone at the United Kingdom-based owner of Lysol, and they had to say, as a global leader in health and hygiene products, we must be clear that under no circumstance should our disinfectant products be administered into the human body. The fact that they actually had to come out and say it.
Yeah, and I can't believe they have to say it in response to the President of the United States.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, this is just this is like a Saturday Night Live skit.
But guys, it was worth it because they actually had people go to the ER with problems with it. So
That
my
blows
goodness.
my mind. But I have to say, though, on the social media aspect of it, all the memes that are coming out about this are hilarious.
Exceptional.
That's our entertainment.
We won't share those with you, but go ahead and Google them yourself. How about over in Kim Jong-un's department? What's going on there? Is he sick? Is he dead? Is he?
I don't know. He's got a bunch of stuff right now. So
well, apparently his sister. Well, he's looking pretty.
He's looking good in that one.
Pretty happy in that picture, isn't he? Look at him.
That's about as happy as he ever looks.
He needs to laugh more. So his sister is now up for the reins, and she's 90% chance that she's going to take over.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to go over.
Apparently, it was
North
a heart
Korea.
surgery that went wrong, and it's kind of left them concerned.
Does he have a heart?
Apparently.
I'm sorry, but I'm just saying he doesn't look too happy. So
Neither did his sister.
his sister does not look any happier. Let me tell you.
Oh, and she's crazier than he is. Like, seriously, she makes him look normal. Like, it's scary if she takes over.
Insane stuff.
Well, that we have
She's
to look
literally
forward to.
crazy. Literally.
Well, so long as she doesn't stand on her soapbox and tell us to drink Lysol to help cure some certain diseases, we should be okay.
Yeah, I think so.
But when we come back from commercial break, we are going to go back to Chris, and he is going to show the rest of the Ross Romano interview, which has been an awesome interview. We want to thank him again for taking that time. So we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Oh, hey. Wait, what was the question?
Let me guess. One driving high combo, extra baked?
No. Could I get a burger with a side of fries?
Think you're a better driver when you're high? Think again. If you smoked weed, wait at least 4 hours before getting behind the wheel, or don't drive at all if you're new to it, have eaten it, or if you've mixed it with alcohol.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Imagine knowing about incidents, closures, and roadwork all before starting your trip. Ontario 511 lets you know before you go. You can get real-time information directly from the Ministry of Transportation, because the more you know, the easier it is for you to go. And spend the time doing the things that matter most.
welcome back. We'd like to thank Casey Security for your sponsorship. Quickly, before we throw to Chris, I just wanted to mention that on May 1st, they are deeming this as annual Doctors Day, and they want you to shine a light on the doctors. So they would ask you to use your cell phone flashlights. But we'll have more information on that. That just came through. Over to you, Chris. What do you have for us?
Well, thank you. We just had a comment on Facebook Live about my ignorant knowledge of Trump and what he said. So I would encourage you to watch my show tonight at 7 p.m. I'm sure you will love it. It's filled with facts and figures. Now, we're going to look at Ross Romano. I asked him about opening the economy back up, and here is his response. What would be the sort of the first phase of the economy opening back up? Like, what should people look for when we start to loosen some of the restrictions?
Well, you're already seeing conversation. You're seeing our premier. The premier speaks to our province every single day. And when he does so, he answers these kinds of questions. And I can tell you the conversation is virtually identical when we were at the cabinet table. Mm-hmm. And the nature of what we're looking at is what are the first group, if you will, of businesses that we know would be in a position to operate.
We just had a technical difficulty there. We were just queuing the video back up. But what I can tell you is that we just hit over 3 million cases of COVID-19 worldwide. And that just came out from Johns Hopkins University, who are actually the only organization really tracking all the numbers globally. And we now have the video again. Let's round two. Here we go. Ross Romano. What would be the sort of the first phase of the economy opening back up? Like, what should people look for when we start to loosen some of the restrictions?
Well, you're already seeing conversation. You're seeing our premier. The premier speaks to our province every single day. And when he does so, he answers these kinds of questions. And I can tell you the conversation is virtually identical when we were at the cabinet table. Mm-hmm. And the nature of what we're looking at is what are the first group, if you will, of businesses that we know would be in a position to operate safely, that would provide the greatest sort of element of economic assistance. But there are so many pieces to that. And the biggest factor of them all, Chris, and everybody, I can't be clearer on this, and the premier has said it. We've been repeating it over and over and over again. This is all going to happen in conjunction with the Chief Medical Officer of Health. Mm-hmm. When we have the Chief Medical Officer of Health tell us, yes, it's time. Here is the first phase. These businesses can reopen. We trust in this process. Then we have something to work off of. We have taken the advice of the experts. We have followed that advice. And as a result of all of us working together and all of us making great sacrifices during this period of time to help flatten the curve, mm-hmm. we've seen the results. The modeling has shown the results. And those results have demonstrated to us that we are making an impact. We don't have the pressures on our healthcare system that we wanted to avoid. We have created the atmosphere. We've created the environment for us to be successful and to come through this process quicker. Had we not taken these measures. But I just got to tell everyone, I know we're all looking for a specific date. We're all looking for a specific indicator. There isn't one. The fact of the matter is when we get the clearance that we are in a position to start reopening and reopening safely, to open up our economy, which we all want to do. The weather is beautiful. I'm standing in front of my windows right now in downtown Sault Ste. Marie, and I'm looking at the sun and the temperature's moving up. We're going to hit double digits, I hope, today and this weekend we all do. It's not time to go visit your friends and have some beers in the backyard. It's not time for barbecues. It's time to stay home. If you want to go outside in the yard and do some yard work, I hope to do a lot of it myself. Those are great things to do, but not if you're intermingling with other people. It is still a matter of stay the course. Like I said, we could see the finish line, but just because you see the finish line doesn't mean you stop running the race. Mm-hmm. Continue on. Sault Ste. Marie strong, Ontario strong, keep on moving forward, and we will get there. As part of the team that we are, Team Sault Ste. Marie, Team Ontario, and Team Canada, we're on the right track. Let's just stay the course, and we will get there. And we will finish the race, and we will finish it strong.
And that was the part of my interview with Ross Romano. If you want to see the full thing, you can check it out on our YouTube channel. There's a link, and you can watch the video there on YouTube. And also you can see it on Facebook Live as well if you go to the videos on Sioux Online. Back to the desk.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thanks, Chris.
We have another video for you. So in the morning show, we do play the hashtag In This Together SSM initiative, where we're just going out there to local businesses, feel good stories about what they're doing to help the community. In the evening, we've had such a huge response
Oh my
from
God,
businesses.
it's been ridiculous.
Right?
But good.
And we want to air them all. So what we're doing is we're putting the business ones in the evening during my evening newscast, which starts at 5 o'clock. That'll always be the last story. But we want to tease it a little bit because this is my favorite pizza place in Sault Ste. Marie. It has the best cauliflower pizza ever. And I'd like to share with you the video I had with Eastside Pizza, who's done so much for the community. I hope you enjoy. Of trying to help the community. One of the first things that we noticed on your Facebook profile page was that you delivered pizza to the Sioux Area Hospital. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, myself, I'm sure like a lot of people in the Sioux have very close personal friends, family, maybe a parent that does work at the hospital. It's such an integral part of our community, and we obviously just wanted to give back and be able to show them that we're thinking about them in these trying times, and who doesn't love lunch delivered, and so we were really happy to do it.
I'm sure you put a lot of smiling faces. Now, how many pizzas did you actually deliver that day? And that's Jane. She's the best.
That was awesome.
Yeah, she's
now
so
I want
awesome.
pizza.
I know. You have to watch that rest of that video. Like I said, it's on the 5 o'clock newscast later on tonight. But they have done so much. They are working with so many associations. They are giving away free pizzas to the Sioux Area Hospital and the emergency department. Aww. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. They have gone and they're helping out women in crisis and everything else.
It's really amazing to see how the community is coming together right now.
They really are rallying at this time, for sure. And it's proud to be. You're proud to be from Sault Ste. Marie at this point, for sure. Well, I know I feel that way.
I mean, I definitely want to be Canadian right now.
Yes, that's true. So we do have a few other interviews planned for the week. Oh, actually, I sat with St. John Ambulance today. Super informative session. That's going to be playing on, actually, I don't know when that's playing, this week coming. And Jen just highlighted the fact that they're offering free online first aid certificate, which is super cool. I'm actually going to make my kids perhaps look into that.
It's a really great thing to have.
Yeah,
really,
and it's
really
at any age. I asked her what the minimum age is, and she said at any age they can start it. They're also doing babysitting, which is, I believe, 11 to 16.
Like babysitting courses?
Yep, online babysitting courses. So look out for that. Chris, who do you have an interview with this week?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm going to have 3 interviews this week. I'm interviewing Paris Marks, and he and I are going to talk a little bit about city planning and transit, particularly in times of crisis, such as right now in COVID-19. We will also be discussing some other things with regards to transportation as well, outside of when there's a pandemic. I'll also be interviewing Councillor Matthew Scott here in Sault Ste. Marie. And also I will be talking with Jeff Gunn, who is a Juno-nominated guitarist who has just finished a world tour. And on his world tour, COVID-19 happened. So we're going to talk about his adventures on getting back to Canada as well. Back to the desk.
I'm actually looking forward to that one, Chris. That's the guy you were saying he's worked with so many famous people.
Oh, Nelly Furtado, Mumford Sons, Bonnie and Ray. I mean, like, the list is about 20, 25 people you would actually recognize. It's insane. Peter Gabriel.
Oh, so, love Peter Gabriel. Awesome stuff. What about you, Miss Danny D? Who do you have an interview with this week?
We just did an interview over at CLA today. We spoke with John, the director, and it was phenomenal. They're really doing a lot right now. I also have an interview coming up with Canadian Bush Plane Museum, so it's going to be interesting to see what they're doing in terms of bringing everything
I think
online.
that was their gift shop that they're trying to open up and be a part of Algoma Marketplace, which is on SiouxOnline.com, guys. Just want to remind you that we have Algoma Marketplace. We are posting all the businesses who are open right now, and you can order right online. Just to remind you that Chris is on tonight at 7 o'clock, and he'll be dispelling any myths that are out there. I have the 5 o'clock news with the pizza, Eastside Pizza, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning. The premiere will be following our show. Have a great Monday afternoon, Sault Ste. Marie.
See you tomorrow.